Hi everyone, how are you, future and current Canada international students? Today I want to talk about something that is very important, and I want you to wait or watch till the end because I'm going to drop a very important information at the end of this video. So today we're going to be addressing the 9 bank statement mistakes you must avoid with your Canada visa application. Now, one of the most popular reasons why your Canada visa application could be refused is due to proof of funds. And a lot of people, in order to avoid being refused based on proof of funds, are making a lot of mistakes with their bank statements and with their proof of funds, and they are getting their applications refused. And sometimes they don't even understand what mistakes they are making. So today we're going to look at 9 of those mistakes, and I'm going to tell you how you can avoid making those mistakes. So let's go. Now, the number one mistake that a lot of people make, now whether the bank statement is yours or maybe it belongs to someone who is sponsoring you, maybe a relative or a non-relative, it doesn't matter. The mistake can be the same whether it's your bank statement or theirs. So the number one mistake people are making is lump sum deposits. Now, a lot of people do not understand why their visas got refused when they had more than enough money in their statement bank or in their sponsor's bank, and they're like, I had 60 million there. Why was my visa refused? It's because the 60 million miraculously appeared in the account from nowhere. Now, a lump sum deposit is an amount of money that you put in your bank or your bank account that is not in line with the previous pattern of bank statements or the previous pattern of monies you have been depositing in your bank statement on your bank account. And I'm going to explain further. For example, if over the last 4 months you've been putting in like 200,000, maybe in naira or whatever your currency is in your country, you've been putting like 200,000, you took out 100, you put 500, you took out 50,000 or whatever, and then 2, 3, 4 weeks to when you want to print out your statement, there's suddenly like 5 million, 6 million, or one other huge amounts of money, and there's no explanation as to where these amounts of monies are coming from. It is a huge red flag. And if you don't tell the visa officer what the source of that money is, they would think that you just put money in your account to just show them that you have money, and the monies are not going to be accessible and available to you. So in that case, a visa officer will refuse your visa application, and that will be sad. So you can avoid this by making sure that you're not dumping monies in your account that will look like lump sum deposits. And if you cannot avoid dumping money in your account, please make sure that you explain the source of this fund. So maybe you move money from your business account to your personal account. Explain what you did and show proof. Maybe you sold a piece of property. Show that you did that. Or maybe someone gifted you some money. Then show a gift deed and explain that this money is a gift from someone. But please don't keep quiet and think that the visa officer is slow in the head and will not notice. No, they are not slow in the head. They will notice that, and they might refuse your application. So the number 2 mistake that I see a lot of people making is that they use a new bank account. Some people go and open up a new bank account that is maybe 4 or 6 months old before they print out the statement and use it for their visa application. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with having a new bank statement or a new bank account, but when it comes to your visa application, you need to be very careful. Because why are you opening a new bank statement? A lot of people do it because they want to borrow money, and the person or the institution that is lending them that money is insisting that this account be opened in their own bank or in their own institution so that they can monitor it and lock it and not allow you to have access to the monies. If you can avoid opening a new bank account, that would be great. Now, don't forget that you need to submit a 4 to 6 months bank statement. And the reason for this is so that the visa officer can see the trend of transactions. They can see, okay, this is how monies have been moving in and out of their account, or these monies have been consistent for the past 4 to 6 months, to make them believe that the money is accessible and available for your studies in Canada. Number 3 mistakes people are making is that they are not showing the source of their funds. So some people claim that they are employed, they have provided an employment letter, probably pay slips, but they haven't shown the visa officer the bank statement where their salaries are being paid. I know some of you will say, oh, but I've supplied them employment letter now, and I supplied my pay slips. Why do they also want to see my bank statement where the monies are being put? Well, I guess it's a level of trust and integrity. I mean, if you have your pay slips and you have your employment letter, what stops you from proving that you are actually receiving those monies as salaries? A visa officer might wonder, you have 20 million and you say it's from your personal savings, from your salaries, but they haven't seen any statement that shows that you have been receiving that salary. Depending on who the visa officer is and depending on how much they want to dig in, some visa officers would want to see a bank statement that shows that you're actually receiving that salary that you have showed them your pay slips for. In order not to have your visa refused because of this, please make sure you're including all your employment documents, your pay slips, as well as your salary account. The next mistake people make when it comes to bank statements is that they are submitting a personal account that is also a business account. Let me explain. Now, a lot of people from the country where I am from and other African countries, a lot of people start businesses without registering the business, which means that the business proceeds are being paid to their personal account. So even though they are submitting a personal account, it is actually a business account, but they don't have a registered business, so they don't have CSC documents, they don't have a business bank statement. And a lot of them are wondering, is this a business account or is this a personal account? It is actually a business account. So one way that you can actually show that it is a business account so that you're not either confusing the visa officer or making them think that you're trying to hide something is to actually own up and say, this is a personal account, but I use it for business transactions. Now you can go ahead and show pictures of your business, or you can show invoices. You can even get reference letters from your customers or your distributors or suppliers, or depending on the kind of business you're doing. But you need to show evidence that the proceeds in this account are actually from a business account, because if you're not working, that means you don't have an employment letter to show, but you're doing business and you have nothing to show that you're actually doing a business. You have to think of other creative means of showing the visa officer that you're doing a business and that the monies in this account are business transactions. And that is the way that you can avoid getting your visa refused for that reason. Another bank statement error or mistake that you must avoid is this one. Now, I don't know why anyone who wants to do this, but submitting a fake bank statement. This one is actually catastrophic, because not only can your visa get refused, you can actually be banned from applying to Canada for the next 5 years. So you can get a 5-year ban. So I absolutely do not recommend that you do this. So I agree that some people have been able to use fake bank statements in the past, and they might be telling you that it works, I know how to do it, or I know who can do it for you. Okay, it might work for them, but do you have the same luck as them? And don't forget that these days, visa officers can actually call your bank. Some of them will not call your branch, because they know that you have arranged with those branch people and you've arranged with your branch manager. When they call, they should say the account is real. They can call the head office, and they might have other means of confirming your bank statement as soon as they suspect that it is a fake bank statement. And then let me give you one tip. Do you know that that fake bank statement that you are using might be used by other people as well? Whoever is giving you that bank statement is also giving it to other people. So a visa officer might see it and be like, I've seen this bank statement before. And by the time they do a little bit of digging, if it's a visa officer that wants to really prove their case, they might find out that that bank statement has been used before. And then they will send you a procedural fairness letter and give you 7 days to respond to why you used the bank statement and why they should not refuse your visa and give you a ban. If you are so unlucky, you might be banned from Canada. You might get a 5-year ban, and your credibility will be completely destroyed. So please, this is one mistake or one error that you should avoid with a long spoon. Don't go near any fake bank statements. Make sure that you have a plan for actually working on your proof of funds rather than getting fake bank statements that can put your immigration status at risk when it comes to Canada. Now, this other mistake that people make a lot is submitting their bank statement with their visa application, but then the bank statement is so blurry that the visa officer cannot see anything. Now, I understand that you might have limited space to upload your documents. So if your financial documents, if you're using the GCK, is just 4 MB, and if you're using the newer portal, it's just 2 MB. So a lot of people, in a bid to put in their bank statement, sometimes it might be 80 pages long. They will compress and compress and compress until you can't see anything on the bank statement, and they go ahead and upload it like that. I know some agents will also upload it like that without even caring that nobody can see what is on that bank statement. As long as a visa officer cannot see what is on the bank statement, they will assume that you intentionally sent them a blurred bank statement because you don't want them to see it, and they will go ahead and say that you have insufficient funds. Due to that, they will refuse your application. So you need to be checking that the bank statement that you are uploading is actually clear and someone can see it. And good enough, Canada and IRCC has started using what is called MBS, My Bank Statement, which means that if your bank is eligible, they can send the bank statement all the way to IRCC without you having to upload anything. The only thing that you need to upload is just a 1-page PDF that gives IRCC the login details or how to have access to your bank statement so they can see what is in your account. So that is what I would recommend, that you use MBS. Most of the banks in Nigeria, and I believe in some other countries, are also eligible for this service or this feature, and you don't have to start uploading pages and pages and pages of bank statement that can become blurry because you're trying to get space. Yeah, avoid using a blurry bank statement. Now, one other error or mistake that people use when they are using a sponsor. So this one has to do with using a sponsor. Now, when you use a sponsor, the sponsor is either using their personal bank statement or they are using a business bank statement. Now, you remember when I talked about us in Africa starting businesses but not having CAC documents? Your sponsor could also be in that pot as well. They have a business, but they don't have any documents. If you're using a sponsor, please make sure it is a sponsor that is actually ready to support you. That means they're ready to give you documents like their bank statement, they are ready to give you their identification documents and all of that, because you need all of that to prove that you have a relationship with this person, and that, you know, the monies that they are sending to you or the monies that they are saying they're sponsoring you with is actually available to you. So I'll circle back to what I mentioned about proving your relationship with your sponsor. So your sponsor can have all the monies in their account, but if you cannot prove that you have a relationship with them, or you cannot prove that that money is accessible to you, visa officers, they might refuse your application. Now, how do you do this? Number one is that you can ask your sponsor, whether it's your uncle, auntie, brothers, cousin, sister, to send part of the money that you need to your bank account. Now, this shows the visa officer that they are actually committed to supporting you in studying in Canada. They're not just talking, they're actually taking action. They should send you some money, or part of the money is maybe your living expenses for 1 year, send it to your own bank account, or they can help to pay part of your tuition to show that they actually support you. Now, a lot of us wonder, how can I show relationship with the person? In reality, they might not be your uncle, they are just your uncle in quotes, maybe someone from your village or your father's friend or someone like that. If they have the same surname as you, that's great. Yeah, a visa officer might just see the same surname and believe that they are your uncle, but if they don't have the same surname as you and you don't have maybe birth certificates to show, you need to build a photo story. Yeah, show yourself with them at different stages where you've taken photos with them, chat messages. Have they helped you in the past, previous financial help? Are you connected with them on social media? Show that. And also make sure that you're submitting their international passport. So when a visa officer looks at their international passport and looks at the pictures that you've submitted, it's the same person. Yeah, so don't try and do boju trying to give them another your pictures with someone else when that is not the person that is sponsoring you. So that is very important, because using a sponsor, if this officer wants to be sure that that money is actually going to be available to you, you have to make sure that you're showing them that that money is available to you. So we're actually on number 8. So the 8th bank statement error that you must avoid is this one. A lot of people actually do it. Now, by the time you submit your application, you might have to wait for up to 12 weeks to hear back on a decision that has been made on your application. And a lot of people get restless. You know why? Because the money is not theirs, or maybe they want to use the money for business, or maybe they have an emergency. So they actually want to take out that money that they have shown the visa officer that's available for for their studies. So the 8th mistake that people make is emptying the bank account before a decision is made on their application. Now, you might think that the visa officer would not be able to know whether you've emptied your bank statement or not. You might argue that you cannot keep your life on hold because you are waiting for a visa decision on your application. You might argue that you borrowed the money and the monies that you're paying as interest is too high, or that you need this money for business or an emergency. I understand all that, and they are very valid reasons that you're saying. But you have told the visa officer that that money is available for your study, Abi. And if a visa officer goes ahead to confirm or takes a look at your bank statement, or calls your bank and asks what is the balance in your account that day, and they tell them that the monies that are there is like less than, maybe more than 75% of what you actually submitted, it's a red flag, which means that monies are actually not available for you. So what you want is for the visa officer to maybe call and find out that the money there is the same or even more. This is even worse if you're submitting an MBS. If you're submitting a My Bank statement, you know, the one I talked about, where you don't have to scan anything, you don't have to upload anything, you just send them username and password. They are able to enter into your bank statement though. Don't forget, they're able to enter into your bank account and they can see the transactions there. They can see the available funds. And trust me, if you've taken the money out of the account, it's a red flag and they are likely to refuse you. I know you'll be asking, how are you sure that they will check the bank statement? Are they checking the bank statement of the day you submitted the account, or the bank statement that's of now? And so many questions. The thing is that if you said the money is available for you, leave it there now until a decision is made on your visa application. If you borrow the money, beg the people that you need that money to actually stay there till a decision is made. You don't want to take that risk of a visa officer actually checking and seeing that the money is not available. They would refuse you for insufficient funds. Now, the 9th but not the least mistake that you must avoid, or bank statement mistake that you must avoid with your visa application, is not making a plan on time. Now, some of us get our admission letter, we have everything, but we haven't even started making a plan for proof of funds. You need to start making a plan of proof of funds as soon as you make up your mind that you want to come study in Canada. As soon as you put in an application for admission, you should be working on your proof of funds. Don't forget that you're submitting a bank statement of 4 to 6 months. You're not submitting a bank statement of 3 months, and the reason why it's 4 to 6 months is that the visa officer wants to see the trend of transactions and be sure that these monies have been available for over the past 4 months at least. So if you don't have a plan, or you're waiting till the last minute for you to work on your proof of funds, you might just be in big soup because you might not have enough, and a visa officer might refuse your application for insufficient funds available for your studies. And really, you've already gone through all the wahala and troubles of getting admission, and at this last minute your visa application is refused. So there you have it. These are the 9 bank statement errors that you should never be making with your Canada study application. I hope this was very valuable to you. If you loved it and you want me to make more of these videos, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure you're clicking the like button and you're clicking the subscribe button because this helps the channel a lot. And then leave a comment, let me know what you want me to talk about in the next video, and I will see you in the next one. Now, one more thing I want to say is that if you need help with processing your Canada study visa, I'm going to leave a link in the description that's going to give you a step-by-step guide, and so many people, like thousands of people, have used the same system and they are successfully in Canada. So go ahead, check in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye for now.